Is the head of police watchdog in England and Wales has demanded new powers as the police force in the UK struggles to restore public trust in the police. Well, in his report, Andy Cooke says there is a limited chance to restore the public trust, while he warns of an irreparable damage if not acted quickly. According to Cooke, the trust crisis is due to a series of scandals. Well, this includes the murder of Sarah Everard by Wayne Couzens, a serving Metropolitan Police officer, and the 48 rape convictions of another Met officer, David Carrick. Well, Cooke said such horrific incidents could have been tackled if the police watchdog had the powers to implement its recommendations. The watchdog chief expressed his frustration with Metropolitan Police forces, as UK's largest police force failed to act on warnings of sexual misconduct by police officers. Well, the watchdog urged the government to introduce a bill which will make it a legal requirement for police forces to follow directions from the watchdog. It also demanded a role in the recruitment process as well. Well, the opposition Labour Party says the report is truly damning, while accusing Conservative Tory government of faulting. Meanwhile, UK Home Secretary thanked the Chief Inspector of the Constabulary for his report, while adding that she equally shares the concern that UK police need strong leaders. Well, for more on this, our correspondent Alex Isaac is joining us live from London now. So this has been an issue in regards to trust in the Metropolitan Police for a while. People are demanding better standards. Tell us more about this watchdog and if it could work and be the answer to the problems.
Well, yes, this has obviously all come out not too long ago because of those incidents that you've mentioned there with the Metropolitan Police. But let's not forget that Andy Cooke also had his own scandal not too long ago, where he was backing one of his own colleagues when a few people came out and claimed that they had some issues with her. And in fact, she was not fired for misconduct, but in fact they were. So it should really start within from all of those that are in the high echelons of police, not just the Metropolitan Police. Of course, if the watchdog does have its way, there could well be more stringent controls over who gets let into the police and how long a police officer can be within that role after they've had a complaint. Should they be suspended, and what should exactly happen to them? Right now, it's a really long process and it's very quite drawn out. So someone could make a complaint about an officer and it could take months or potentially years before that goes all the way through, and then that officer may not well be sacked. He could just be they could just be suspended for a period of time, and all of that time where those complaints may be stacked up, as we had some similar situations with David Carrick there was a number of complaints, but unfortunately he was not suspended in that particular incident. And again with Wayne Couzens, we saw similar attributes here. So this particular watchdog could come in and say, right, as soon as someone makes a first complaint, the person should be suspended, and then looks to investigate it. That does seem quite simple and straightforward, and it's something that was mentioned, in fact, early in the year with regards to when we had all of the Metropolitan Police coming face to face in a select committee. A lot of this information came out back then. We heard about misogynism, we heard about racism, we heard about bullying, and there has been a lot of calls for things to change within the police. But it is specifically down to how, when an officer comes in, even if they do manage to pass all of those stringent checks, how can we get them out if they aren't really up to standard, or if they're doing things that aren't really good for the community? And that's where the watchdog would come in. And I do think that most of the Conservatives and the Labours and all of those in the House of Commons are on the side of the police, trying to help them. But there are other issues as well that the police are facing on a day-to-day basis. They're getting called out to a whole host of other non-crimes, especially when it's coming to mental health issues. And a lot of people on the streets, they're happy to see police when they're out, and they do say that crime does go down when they see a Bobby on the beat, but then they aren't as respectful to police, and police do have to deal with the law. It takes a certain person to be a police officer, but it does need some stringent and straightforward responsibilities as well from the watchdog to put in place if we're going to go forward and get the right people into the right roles.
Exactly. Right people into the right jobs, as you say, the right roles. Thank you so much, Alex Izat there, covering that story for us this morning live here on WION. That's Alex Izat, our London correspondent.